Hey guys, welcome back to StayTrue TV. Back another day on the Yamaha Kodiak 450 ATV quad bike. So before we start this video, I just want to give a big shout out to Alaska 7506. So Alaska 7506 was watching my videos and he's picked up that I've done a couple of little mistakes on the CVT setup on the bike. First thing we're going to do is go ahead. We're going to pull off the CVT side cover, pull the clutch out and check the few little issues that he's picked up on. So one of the issues is on the wet clutch. Seems that I didn't put a nut on. Now I went back through the video and it seems like he's correct. I did not put a nut on that section. And the other one that I did not know was with the one-way clutch bearing, should be able to go anti-clockwise only, not clockwise. Where we've got it, we turned it and it was going clockwise, which I thought was correct, but it seems I've got it back to front. So we'll turn that bearing around, we'll make sure we've got a nut, hopefully back on that clutch before it goes back together. Then we can get that back together and start working back on the bike. Alright guys, before we go any further, this is what Alaska's talking about. So when we're going on, it goes forward. When we try to go backwards, it's locked up. So what he's saying is when we go clockwise, it should be locked up. And when we go anti-clockwise, it shouldn't be locked up. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this clutch assembly off. And then on the back of this, I believe it was, there's like a sprag clutch bearing. We just got to pull that out, turn it around, put that back on. But right at the back of the assembly, there's a clutch we're going to pull out and make sure we've got a nut on that also. So thought I'd let you know about this one before we go too much further so you can see what we're talking about as we go. So I can turn it clockwise, but I can't turn it anti-clockwise, and we want it the opposite way around. That's where we're going to get to when we're done. Let's keep going. Alright guys, so here it is. So this here, it is on a spline, but right here we've got a nut to go on. Now that nut wasn't put on. I've obviously put it into the casing, slid the whole assembly on, and then continued on thinking that was it. But again, big shout out to Alaska 7506 for picking it up for us, sending us on our way to go sort it out. So big thanks, mate. Alright, so we've got the nut. It was in the box of bits. So we're just going to get a bit of Loctite, chuck it on the inside thread, stick it on, and then we'll get onto the bearing. Alright, so the next thing here is this here clutch bearing here. So we've got to pull it out, swap it around, so that when we turn the motor, it turns the opposite way to what it was. Fingers crossed, it's as easy as that. So we're trying to turn the shaft clockwise, no go. Turns anti-clockwise now, sweet. So fingers crossed, we're on the right road.
Everything about it.
Alright guys, so the gearing's working, everything seems to be working right. So we rode it forwards, we rode it backwards a couple of times just inside the shed, so just a small amount. Feels fantastic. The only thing we do have that seems a little bit rough still is that carby. I don't know, I have a feeling that maybe some of the diaphragms are a little bit hard in it. We did try softening it up when we had it apart, rebuilding it with some CRC. But whether that's done the job or not, I don't know. So what I've gone and done is, I've gone ahead and bought another carby. Now this is a Chinese carby, which I wasn't really after. I was actually after the diaphragm kits, but I couldn't find anything at all on the internet. And I didn't want to be paying a fortune for going genuine for one. So what we're gonna do is looking at this is pretty much identical to the carby that's on there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and take the diaphragms out, we're gonna take the choke plunger, and anything else that we need that we can put onto the original carby that we don't have on it. We don't have this hose here. We also don't have the holder for the throttle adjust. So anything like that, we're gonna just go ahead, pull out, swap it over with the other carby. Hopefully have a good carby on our hands, and fingers crossed, she'll run a lot smoother than it is now. Alright, so far so good. Put the carby on with all the new diaphragms and stuff. Seems to be running relatively well. Haven't really given it time to warm up too well, but we've just chucked it in gear, run it backwards, run it forwards again, made sure it's going. This time it hasn't tried conking out on us with the fuel. So we're going to go and load it up on the trailer. We'll take it out and see how it goes. Overall, that was pretty good success. I'm pretty happy with the way it's running. Got a little bit of an oil leak just around the bottom of the stator cover. I'm thinking that's from when taking it on and off when we were trying to work out the electrical issues. Maybe I've damaged the gasket a little bit or something, but that's no trouble at all. We'll just put some gasket glue around it, seal that back up. Other than that, thing's running fantastic. Seems to be good. Chucked a couple of Ks on it. Didn't want to go too extreme at the moment. We've still got to align the wheels a little bit better. I noticed when we click it into full drive, it's really pulling to one side, so we'll have to do a bit of a read up on how to actually adjust that properly. But other than that, we're looking pretty good. So we're going to go head home, put this back in the shed, and then we might go to the upholsterer and see if we can grab some vinyl for that seat. Let's go. I don't remember if you recall or not, but one of the older videos, I was a bit worried about the gap that was here, but as you can see, it seems like the longer it's been on there, now we've been sitting on it and maybe even some exposure to the weather, it seems to have sat down and settled down where it should be against the tank, so I don't have to worry about heating it up or anything now. So we're going to go and remove this, start pulling the staples and the vinyl off of this, and we'll start putting some new vinyl on the seat. Alright guys, not bad for an amateur I think. Come up pretty good for that. Not too shabby at all. Obviously what I'll do is when I get a chance, I'll chuck the bike out in the sun, let the vinyl heat up, and it should all pull nice and taut. As for now, she's looking pretty sweet. So next thing we're going to do, go ahead, pull this side step off here, pull the side covers off, get that stator cover off, and elastic up that damaged gasket so it's no longer spitting oil out, and we're pretty well on our way. Alright, so as you can see, the oil levels come back up from pushing that piston back in the caliper to get the full size pads back in. The fluid's pushed back up through the lines and filled back our reservoir, so that's just a bit over the high mark actually, but I think we'll be alright with that. Leave it at that and get the cap back on. Alright guys, we're going to call that a wrap for this video. This thing is an absolute beast. Really enjoyed it, the kids absolutely loved it. Big shout out to Alaska7506 for his comments in the last few videos, picking out a few things that I'd missed. Never worked on a CVT clutch before, so it was absolutely welcome to hear his comments. We went and followed it up, chased it up, got the situation sorted out, reversed that bearing, got the wet clutch nut fitted, and everything turned out sweet in the end. So after the test ride, we worked out that we had a couple of little oil leaks down around the stator cover. I believe that had been from when we were having trouble with the electrics, taking that stator cover on and off. I damaged the gasket. We've gone ahead, replaced the gasket, made up a new one for it, fitted it up, a little bit of elastic around it as well, just for a bit of backup. Turned out sweet as. We've got a new seat cover, looks like brand new. Started off a little bit of a troublesome area there. I thought, oh no, this isn't turning out too good. It's got a couple of crinkles and stuff in it. Nothing that the heat gun and a little bit of stretchy here and there couldn't take care of, and it looks absolutely fantastic. Also, we've got our back brakes sorted. Them pads, they've been sitting here for a couple of weeks. I probably should have done it before we took it out, but took it out, tested it, realised the brakes were really terrible. So we've gone ahead, fitted the new brakes. You can actually feel them actually getting a bit of grab now, so that'll be really good for the next time we take it out and see how it goes. Don't forget to come back in the next video. We've got something pretty special I'm going to try and pull off on this thing. We're going to start looking at getting some badges and stuff back on the bike and making it look pretty tricked up. Been checking out the algorithms on my YouTube channel. 86% of the watchers on my channel are not subscribed. If you're one of them, if you wouldn't mind, chuck down a subscription, set your notifications, come back and follow us for more videos. Got some pretty cool stuff coming up. Thank you for your love and support for the channel. We hope to see you back here soon. Stay safe. We'll catch you next time.